Pastor of Forest Lake United Methodist Church. Thank you for joining us as we look at this week's lectionary readings. Today, let's talk about Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20, where Jesus says these words. If another member of the church sins against you, go and point out the fault when the two of you are alone. If the member listens to you, you've regained that one. But if you are not listened to, take one or two others along with you, so that every word may be confirmed by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If the member refuses to listen then, tell it to the church, and if the offender refuses to listen even to the church, let such a one be to you as a Gentile or a tax collector. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again, truly I tell you, if 2 of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. It's no surprise that churches are not immune to conflict. We're a family, and sometimes families fight. Our church is no different just because we're built around our faith in Christ. Sometimes church folks argue about the carpet color, or about what somebody put on the church sign, or about who gets to meet in which room. The music's too loud, except that it's too soft. The sanctuary is mysteriously too cold and too hot at precisely the same time, and somebody else sat in my pew. Of course, churches also face controversial issues around staffing and a host of other ethical concerns. Sadly, when churches argue, it too easily turns personal. Church impacts us at a heart and soul level, so when differences occur, they may be intensified by our emotional connection to them. In that emotionally charged environment, we're tempted to triangulate. We build a coalition of people who agree with us to oppose the person who offended us. Of course, that person builds his or her own coalition as well. It's unhealthy. We avoid a lot of pain when we actually do what Christ said. If someone offends you, go to that person. Sit down, have a conversation. Face to face is best. Many times a dispute can be settled in such a courageous conversation. The parties may not agree, but perhaps they can learn to love each other in their disagreement. To be honest, Christ's approach isn't easy, but it's healthy. Let's love one another deeply enough to be honest with one another, even when it's hard. At Forest Lake, we're committed to being a Matthew 18 kind of church.